Sup guys? I just got back from a 2-week trip in South Dakota. It was amazing. I surprised my sister for her birthday and we had the best time ever. We went snowmobiling, we went out to Deadwood, we hung out a ton. It was just a really great time. The surprise was a total success. It was great. But let me tell you how I got there. I took the bus from the city this time, though. I left from Manhattan. I didn't leave from the island. All the way to South Dakota and back again. That was my second time taking the bus. I have about a week's experience total now because last summer I went there and then in the winter I took the bus. So I feel like I have a pretty broad experience of the bus in 2 different seasons. My favorite time riding the bus was this time riding back from South Dakota. I went to Detroit on my way back and it was beautiful. And I saw all of Michigan. It was a beautiful day too. I have a list of 12 tips for anyone out there who plans on taking the bus because it's definitely an experience and you want to be prepared for it 100% because if you're not prepared then you're stuck, you know, in a shitty situation. Hear me out. Alright, if you don't agree, comment down below. If you have more tips, comment down below. Let's get into this. Number 1, layer. 100% bring layers. Okay, in the summertime I didn't do this because I thought that I wouldn't have to. I was scared of being really hot on the bus. I actually wound up having to get my suitcase out at midnight somewhere and pull out my jacket because it was freezing on the bus. Definitely layer. I always wear a t-shirt with a sweater over it. That way, if I'm hot, I can take off the sweater. If I'm cold, I can put it back on. It was really, really hot on the bus this time around because it's winter, so they blast the heat. In the summer, it was freezing. One bus was so cold, I couldn't even sleep. I was freezing. I also wore like cutoff pants in the summertime. Big mistake. I was freezing again. And then this time I wore long leggings with boots and leg warmers. I didn't even leave Manhattan before the leg warmers came off because it was burning up on the bus. The temperature always varies. You just never know. Some bus drivers like it hot, some bus drivers like it cold, some bus drivers like it's 90 years old. What's the fucking thing? Number 2, wear a jacket with zip pockets. A lot of the times you can get off the bus and leave your stuff there, and you know when you fall asleep your stuff is unattended. You're right there but you're not conscious, so your stuff is kind of unattended. And you know when I got off the bus I would have to bring my backpack and it was heavy, so this was so much easier. I could leave everything on the bus, take my important stuff. Although I did have to leave my stuffed animal on the bus because I didn't take my backpack, so that was kind of sad. I always had my phone and my wallet and my cash bag zipped up because when I work in South Dakota, I'm a waitress and I get cash. So I was traveling with kind of a large amount of cash on me that I actually kept in this bag right here. So I kept this bag, which surprisingly fit in my pocket. Didn't think it would, but it did. I kept that and my phone and my wallet and like my iPod with headphones always zipped up. That way I knew I would never lose it. They wouldn't fall out when I'm sleeping. It just made life so much easier. You know, I wasn't worried as much as I was the last time I took the bus. Number 3, check the plugs. The plugs always work. The Wi-Fi, not so much. If they don't work, ask the bus driver to turn them on. I guess they can turn them on and off, or sometimes your plug could just be faulty. I've had that happen too. First thing I do when I choose a bus seat is plug in my phone. If it doesn't charge, I move to the next seat, plug in my phone. I always make sure the plugs work at the seat that I choose to sit in. I am not going to be stuck on a bus for 10 hours if the plugs don't work because I want to be on my phone, I want to be on my iPod. You just want to make sure that you got that juice in your seat. Number 4, this one I always felt kind of bad about doing, but the more I ride the bus, the more I don't give a shit. When you get on, you always sit alone. Like, if you can find a seat alone, you find that seat alone. Sometimes the bus fills up and you can't sit alone. What I do, and I've never had to sit next to someone. I've never gotten on the bus that was full. I've always been able to sit by myself when I get on the bus. It's just like other big stops, you know, sometimes the buses are packed. Like over the summer, most of the buses I rode were packed. Put your stuff next to your seat. Or sit on the outside and put your stuff on the other seat. Whichever way you want to do it, do that. I probably would advise more of you sitting in the aisle and having your stuff next to you because then maybe it just looks more like I'm not moving, you know? You don't want to be stuck sitting next to someone. If you have the opportunity to be alone, then do it. Like, okay, for example, I don't remember which bus stop this was, but it was an overnight one. So it was like a 10-hour overnight drive. Every single seat was taken, but they were all sitting alone. And then the last guy got on the bus and he was huge and he smelled like weed. Like, he smelled like just stale, disgusting old weed. I was not about to get stuck sitting next to him. For some reason, I don't know if I have like a friendly face, they'll look at me and I know for a fact as soon as they look at me when they get on the bus, they're gonna sit next to me, and then they do. I guess because I look less threatening, that's what I would go off of, you know, like I would survey the bus, see who looks less threatening. I guess this is like tip 4.5 or something. Look who is less threatening, the most normal looking, and sit next to them, because a lot of the times there's weirdos on the bus. Anyway, so this guy gets on the bus and I can tell there's nowhere else to sit, and I put myself down and I don't even falter because I am not letting some big smelly man sit next to me when I could be comfortably sleeping all night long. And it worked. It worked a lot of the time, actually. If the bus was completely packed, of course I would let someone sit next to me. Obviously, you know, you have to. But like at the same time, if I have a choice, sorry bud, you gotta pick somewhere else to sit. Your girl needs sleep. Tip number 5, bring earbuds. Anything to plug your ears, bring them. Or headphones that like go into your ear, you know? You will need something to block out the sound. First of all, the bus is loud in general. It's a big machine, it's gonna be loud. Second of all, people don't shut the fuck up on the bus. People will talk all night, people will be on their cell phones all night, or blasting their movie, like that happened to me. The first bus ride to South Dakota, this time around, leaving Manhattan, I left at 11 p.m., was the worst experience. The worst, okay? The woman behind me was blasting her movie. There was 2 phone alarms going off all night. They wouldn't shut them off. You want to bring something to be able to plug your ears because you want to be able to get some sleep. Tip number 6, eat when you can. And I know that sometimes it's not the most ideal. When I got on the bus, I packed apples and grapes, and that was it. I didn't think about packing dinner because I'm dumb. There was one point where I didn't eat for like 12 hours because there was no place to stop. On the way there, we stopped at Burger King at 8:30 and Burger King at 10:30. So I didn't eat breakfast that morning. You want to be able to bring food or just eat when you can. Sometimes when you stop, you don't get to eat. Or one time we weren't even allowed to go into the store. I don't know, it was weird. If you really don't want to be stuck on the bus and you're starving, it sucks. Tip number 7, set up your iPod or any kind of musical anything that you have. You'll want your iPod or your CD collection or anything, your music collection to be spot on. You want a lot of songs, a lot of variety. Put on some podcasts. I put on ASMR MP3s to help me relax. I made that mistake this time actually. I set up my iPod and then last minute I tried to put more on, but I didn't hit the upload button. So everything that I had put on, all my ASMR, all the songs I put on, I didn't like upload them to my iPod. I thought that just connecting it was good enough and it wasn't. So I had only two barely ASMR videos and I was so upset because I like depend on those to fall asleep. Yeah, you just want to make sure that you have like everything, music and relaxation and anything like that set up before you go because once you're on the road, you're screwed. Tip number 8, I wrote, oh yeah, like pack good stuff too, but don't like overpack. I don't know what that means. I guess with your carry-on, don't overpack. That's the one you're like lugging on and off the bus all the time, and just bring on there your valuables and what you really need. So like your food and everything like that, like bring all that. I would never put valuables in my suitcase. That goes under the bus, and when they do transfers, you don't always handle your suitcase. Sometimes they do it for you. Tip number 9, you probably should have a neck pillow. I don't own one, but you maybe should because I only had my jackets to sleep on, and those get crumpled or they'll like fall in the seats and then you're laying on a flat surface and it sucks. Most people that have a neck pillow look very comfortable. They sleep sitting up, so if you're sitting next to someone, you can sleep sitting up comfortably. That is so hard to do when you're sitting next to someone. You just can't sleep comfortably. I would normally put my backpack on top of my lap, put my jacket over it, and sleep like this. That is how I slept the entire way the first time I ever took the bus. This time I sat alone for the most part. I like slept over 2 chairs, but still a neck pillow would definitely help. Number 10, leave a review for your drivers. I actually haven't done this, but I'm gonna do it for my driver. I had a really great driver named David on Jefferson Lines, and he was funny and he was quirky. If you have the chance to help somebody out, I definitely would recommend it, so I'm gonna give this guy a review. Thanks, David. Number 11 is the most important one I could ever tell you ever. Do not open the door. Don't open it. Don't touch it. Don't think about it. Don't look at it. Don't do anything to that door if it's closed. This is so important. A girl, she nearly got kicked off the bus because she opened the door. It's apparently illegal to do that. You don't want to be stuck somewhere for 24 hours because that's how often the bus comes. Every 24 hours. It was scary. I'll actually tell you that experience in another video that I'm going to post. This is like the bigger video, and then I'm going to post like a little video about my actual experiences on the bus this time. So don't open the door. If the door is closed, you do not get on the bus. Okay? Okay. Are we clear on that? Tip number 12, don't get sat on. I was nearly sat on. My head was almost sat on. If you're gonna follow one of these, follow number 11. Like, I can't stress it enough. Anyway, enjoy your ride. Have a great time wherever you're going, or if you're coming back or something like that, whatever the fuck you're doing. So those are my tips for riding the bus. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.